If you want to be a filmmaker, go borrow your mom and dad's phone and come up with a storyline that you can film in the backyard with your brother or sister or your friend, and film it on your phone and edit your movie together, and do that over and over and over and over again. It's getting used to having a camera and filming scenes and piecing them together.
This is my dad. His name is Bubba and he's a filmmaker. I sat down with him to pick his brain about filmmaking. So what is a filmmaker?
Basically somebody who makes films, creates videos, takes a concept and comes up with a plan on how they're gonna create that concept, shoot it, edit it, and put it together so when they present it, it's entertaining and it gets a message across.
What's the process of filmmaking? Like, what are the steps that lead to making a video?
Well, it starts with an idea. So once you have the idea, you think, okay, how are we logistically going to do this?
Logistics, the detailed coordination of a complex operation involving people, facilities, or supplies.
What resources do we have to pull this off? Is it a shoot that's going to take a bunch of actors, a bunch of locations? What's the script? What needs to be communicated? What's the audience? What's the feel, the look? So you're thinking through all the little pieces that you want to think through before you start shooting. So that's called pre-production. And then once you hone all that in, then you put all those pieces in play. For a big shoot, there's a lot more pieces that go into it, but I would say when we come up with an idea for Kid Explorer, what's the message? That's the first thing we start with, is like, what are we trying to say in this video? And then once we figure that out, it's like, what's a creative way that we can communicate that message? So for example, Kid History with Caleb.
Good day, folks. I'm Broadcast Cal, and this is Kid History.
We knew we wanted to create something about historical events in a fun way. So Caleb, being a 1930 broadcaster back in the radio era, putting a vintage look on it, but having a kid be the announcer and talking intelligently on a subject matter.
Which was July 4th, 1776, America's first birthday. So happy birthday, John Adams.
And then you put it together in a 2-minute video that anybody can understand. That was a fun, creative way to teach about historical events. So then you film it. And so we try to make it look really good, and we try to put a level of quality into how we film it. If it's an interview, or we get all the B-roll, all the action shots, that kind of help tell the story. And then we edit it. So we pull it all in and we tell the story, and we see all the footage we have, and we edit a video together, and we put music to it, and we create sound design and make the color where it looks really good, and put some VFX if we want to add some VFX to it. So we just kind of do whatever we can to make the message feel fun and creative.
What are some skills that you think I would need to become a filmmaker?
You definitely need to learn how to communicate and be personable.
Personable, having an agreeable, pleasing personality, showing good-natured personal qualities.
Being personable with clients, with other filmmakers, with other creatives, because you ultimately have to all work together to get something done.
What's gonna work? Teamwork.
And so you've got to be able to be trustworthy and feel like you can talk to a client about the project and make them feel good about what you're going to do. So having that relational skill and being able to communicate to where they feel comfortable with you executing it, that's a skill. You need to be flexible and resourceful.
Resourceful, one who can deal skillfully and promptly with new situations or difficulties.
Things change a lot, and you need to learn how to be resourceful when things don't go according to plan. So you may think and plan to do this, but then all of a sudden there's problems that occur, and you have to be flexible and change or be resourceful and figure out, how do I come up with a solution in this moment, because we don't have any time and we have to make something work. And so that is a key component that you'll find almost every filmmaker deals with, is you got to learn to be flexible and resourceful and try often. I learned how to be a filmmaker by just going out and shooting and trying and doing terrible work, but I learned. And so I learned from each project how to make the next one better. A lot of people don't start because they feel like, oh man, I'm not good enough. Well, you only get better by just doing work and then trying to make that work a little bit better on the next project.
If you were teaching someone how to be a filmmaker, what are 3 things that you would tell them right off the bat that would just lead them to a successful career and be able to pursue their dream job as a filmmaker?
Nice, that's a great question. Start shooting with whatever you have right now. If you want to be a filmmaker, go borrow your mom and dad's phone and come up with a script that you can film in the backyard with your brother or sister or your friend, and come up with a storyline that you can go out and film it on your phone and pull it into a free editing software and edit your movie together, and do that over and over and over and over again, just like you used to do with Star Wars.
Okay, time out. So when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with Star Wars. So much so that I would borrow my dad's iPad and go all throughout the house filming scenes with my brother and sister. I literally thought I was George Lucas.
Cool. Cut.
I guess in some ways, I was just taking my dad's advice.
That's all it is. It's getting used to having a camera and filming scenes and piecing them together. I would also say start studying other filmmakers that you really enjoy and you like their style. So it's learning from the filmmakers that you appreciate and you want to be like, and then go out there and shoot and do work to whatever degree that you can do it. Like, don't say I don't have a camera, or I can't afford something. Save up to buy, a $100 camera. Asking your parents for, an affordable camera, or see if they'll let you borrow theirs, and be very responsible with it. And you can film with an iPhone or a smartphone and tell a story with it. And so getting your experience early and often is key. There's tons of tutorials too online. You can go to YouTube and learn how to edit, write a script, storyboard, plan for a shoot. You can go to YouTube and learn how to literally do an entire short film on your own. You can do that for free. And so I would say start investing that time in learning right now as a kid, because that's going to put you so far ahead when you actually are trying to get work and do it as a career. I was 27 when I started. You're 15 years away from being 27. And so imagine if you started now, that's more years than I've put in from when I started up until this point. And so I think the internet there's a lot of junk out there, but it also provides a ton of ways to learn and to teach you things that I didn't have when I first started.
What's some advice that you would give younger people that they should do more of?
Get outside and play more. I think they should experience different things. The more experience you can do and the more you can just kind of try different things, it's going to give you more experience that goes into being a creative. It's going to make you a more holistic person when you go deep into the thing you love doing. And so I think just trying new things is honestly one of the biggest things I wish younger people did more of.
What should they do less of as well?
Less tech in a good way. I'm a big proponent of tech. I believe tech is great. I believe that when used right, it is incredibly beneficial, and it is in a lot of ways changing the world we live in for the better. But I also think that there's a balance with how much tech we use that pulls us away from experiencing life the way that we should.
What sparked the idea for Kid Explorer?
Well, Kid Explorer is our new venture as a family.
This is not just a channel.
It's a platform
Full of different shows that explore interesting topics, where we discover new things and create tons of fun content.
As parents of 3 kids, we know you guys like YouTube. And so, like any good parent, you're going to monitor what your kids watch.
Yeah.
We would always see what you guys were watching and felt like we were always having to say, okay, these channels are not so good. These channels are good. You can watch these. And that list of good channels, there wasn't as many channels. And so we realized that, hey, we are a unique family in that mom's a teacher. You guys are homeschooled, so you have a flexible schedule. I'm a filmmaker. I can create stuff. You guys are interested in different things. Well, what if we made fun content based around what you're interested in, and try to make it to where you learn something, make it to where a family or a parent would see it and say, that's a great channel.
It's parent approved.
Preach it, brother.
And then kids would see it and be like, oh, this is cool. This is fun. I like this.
Made for kids and made by kids. We make learning fun.
Finding that balance of something that you feel parents are okay with saying, yes, you can watch anything on this channel and feel good about your kids are getting quality entertainment. And then as kids, you're watching something that is fun and you're learning something in a creative way.
So if you're looking for a place where you can get entertainment that'll make you smarter
And make your parents more proud, welcome to Kid Explorer.
And so Kid Explorer it's been about a year in the making with concepting and ideating. What is it going to look like? What do we want to put our time to? Because we have more ideas than we do time to execute them. So it's trying to figure out like, all right, what are the main ones we want to do first? And then how do we plan them so that we can execute them and do them in a consistent manner? That's the hard part, is doing consistent work over a period of time and trying to stay ahead of that, because it's hard it takes time. And so
let's recap what we've learned. Filmmaking is the art of making a film. It all starts with an idea that you have to make a video. Once that idea is developed, it goes through 3 stages of production: pre-production, production, and post-production. Pre-production, where you think through all the details that it will take to make your video. After you have all the details ironed out, you're ready for production, which is where you do all the filming for your video. After everything is filmed, you're ready for post-production, where you edit your video and add all the additional elements that you need to make a great video. Some skills that you need to develop to be a good filmmaker are being personable and relational with people. You gotta be able to engage and communicate with people that you work with. You need to be resourceful and flexible, because when things go wrong and don't go as planned, you'll need to problem solve and figure out a solution quickly to make sure you get what you need to tell your story. It takes time to become a good filmmaker. You'll need to practice and practice often. Get better with each video you create. Don't worry about how good or bad you think you are, just take action. The most important step is starting. Don't just watch YouTube to pass the time. Watch quality content to learn. You can teach yourself anything by finding the right resources online that will teach you useful skills, just like this one. I'd like to thank my dad for giving us some insight about filmmaking. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Kid Explorer Podcast, where we learn the art of being a professional with real professionals. I'm Elijah, and this is Kid Explorer.